this will probably be the only time I ever say this, but before you see this movie, I really recommend watching Prometheus. Alien Covenant. This is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I have reviewed Alien and Aliens and Prometheus leading up to this movie. I was so excited to go see this movie. I stayed away from all the reviews. I stayed away from all the latest trailers and TV spots. I literally was going in this movie just hoping for greatness and amazing. And I will say, I am 100% satisfied. Not a perfect movie, I will say that, but I am 100% satisfied. And there are a lot of things in this movie that relate to Prometheus. Honestly, if you honestly ask me, this movie is 100% a sequel to Prometheus. I mean, honestly, it is a prequel to Alien and all, but this movie is a sequel to Prometheus. I'm just saying that, and if you go see this movie, I really recommend watching Prometheus before seeing this movie. Honestly, you kind of have to, honestly. But this movie is basically about this group of scientists, engineers, whatever, that wake up from hypersleep, whatever, and they're pretty much going to this planet, whatever, to find Earth, find a new Earth, whatever, and then they get a signal, and then they go to another Earth, whatever, off course, and they go down here, and they run into some xenomorphs. Actual xenomorphs. And if that sounds familiar, because it is, that is the plot of Alien. That is, this movie, in all honesty, is Alien with a few different things switched up, especially in the middle of the movie. There's a lot of things different, but overall, it's the basic storyline of Alien. And I will say it, if I gave Force Awakens an A+, whatever, when it came out, and that movie's basically A New Hope. This movie, it's Alien Covenant, it's basically Alien, but I still really enjoy this movie. I'm gonna start with the positives. Again, I think I've said this a bunch of times. Ridley Scott, man. Such a great director. No matter what the movie is, even if it's The Counselor or Exodus, the movie looks great, and the movie looks great in this movie. The CGI looked really good, except for one scene. One scene. It involves a baby alien. I was like, oh man, what is that? But overall, the CGI, the cinematography, the direction was all A+ material. This movie looked beautiful. And honestly, there's a scene where they're walking through the jungle, whatever, through guns, whatever. Can you not just imagine Ridley Scott directing a Predator movie? I could just see it now. Get this man a Predator movie. And this man is 79 years old. And he's doing this kind of stuff. I gotta applaud Ridley Scott. He did a great job in this movie, and he brought some great suspense and some really good action scenes too. The acting all around is really good, and Michael Fassbender steals the entire show. He plays, here's a minor spoiler, he plays a robot, he plays an android in this movie, and he's a different android from David from Prometheus, whatever. He's a completely different android. What was his name? What was his name? Was it Ryan or something like that? I forget. But either way, he's a different android, whatever, and he just stole the show. There's one scene, and when you watch the movie, it involves a flute. That is just acting right there. That's all I'm going to say. That's a great scene with Michael Fassbender and a flute. That's all I'm going to say. And all the other actors, Catherine Waterston as the main girl, she was no Sigourney Weaver, but she definitely was a good character. And her character, in this movie, in the first 5 minutes, you care about her character instantly. You feel bad for her in some sorts of way. And I just really liked her. I thought Catherine Waterston did a really good job in this movie. And she's also in Fantastic Beasts, and she was good in that. And she did a really good job in this movie. I thought she was a great hero, whatever. But the one person who really stood out, besides Michael Fassbender, was Danny McBride. Man, there's one scene, Danny McBride actually breaks down, whatever, and you're like, where did this come from? He is not a douche in this movie at all. In all of his movies, he's always a douche. In this movie, he's one of the coolest characters. And he has one of the best names in the movie. His name is like Tennessee, whatever. They call him T, whatever. His name is Tennessee. He's literally one of the coolest characters. He's awesome. He's the one who like drives the ship, whatever. And he's the one who's like actually trying to go down to the planet and save everyone, honestly. Because they lose contact, whatever. And he's like, we're going down this storm. I don't care. I'm going down there to get my wife. And I really like this idea they did with this movie. Everyone on this ship, whatever, is a couple, and that was great because you really got to see how characters cared for one another. But this really leads to my negative. I didn't feel any character emotions. When people died in this movie, I didn't care. I really didn't. All these characters were very expendable. In the original Alien, I cared for like everyone. In this movie, I literally, in the beginning, people were getting chopped their heads off, whatever. I'm just like, who was that? I don't even, like, there's literally one scene where a guy or a person gets killed, and I'm like, who was that? Then, like, they never talk about it either. I'm like, who was that? Like, I don't even know. So I thought most of the characters weren't that great. Literally, the only stands out were Michael Fassbender, Catherine Watterson, and Danny McBride. Those three are literally the main three. Those three are great throughout the whole entire movie. Everyone else, very expendable. Very expendable. So I didn't really care for any character, and this got really annoying, and I noticed it every time. It's a minor spoiler. So if you don't want to hear it, it's okay, but it's really minor. Every time someone says, I gotta go pee, I gotta go wash up, I gotta go do this, I gotta go fix my hair, every time someone says that, they go and die. It's the biggest cliche ever. It's literally like Friday the 13th, oh, I gotta go pee in the woods, and Jason kills him. There's literally a person in this movie who says, I gotta go pee, and then something happens, and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, wow. In the original Alien, you don't know who was gonna die next. You had no idea. In this movie, they literally walk off, and it's just glad. And it got really old. I was like, okay, so that person's dead. Okay, that person's dead. And I got it right. And that was a huge disappointment. And now another disappointment was, okay, this is not getting spoilers and all, but the main this movie is called Alien Covenant. Honestly, the actual xenomorph wasn't the main focus until the third act. Now, okay, let me get this straight. The xenomorph does kill whatever throughout the entire movie, of course. But when you watch the first act and the second act and you go see it, you'll completely understand what I'm saying. It's very different. Very. It's not your usual xenomorph. Like in the trailers, you do get to see the xenomorph, but in the first two acts, it's very different. And when the third act happens, that's when the main focus of the movie was Alien. Honestly. Now the first two acts are fine, they're great. Honestly, this movie answered a lot of questions from Prometheus. A bunch. And it made Prometheus even a little better. I'm not even kidding. It made Prometheus that much better. It answered a lot of questions, and it showed a bunch of stuff and a lot of answers, and it leads to a really epic finale, whatever, between the Alien, whatever, and Xenomorph, and that's what I loved. The Xenomorph. We came to see the Xenomorph, and honestly, you don't get to see the Xenomorph until the third act, like in full action, honestly. I'm not trying to make it disappointing or anything, but that is the truth. Overall, though, the action is great, and oh, I forgot to say this. This is 100% the most bloodiest Alien movie we got. And this movie was bloody. Like, I mean, people are spitting up guts, and there are some great chest scenes or whatever, and it just gets bloody and gory, and I love that stuff because it's Alien, and it was great to see. And you actually get to see Alien eat people. Like, I know most movies you just see him, like, put a tongue out, and it cuts to whatever. In this one, you get to see an alien eat somebody, and it's bloody. I just forewarning you, it gets bloody. Overall, though, I had fun with this movie. It's not a perfect movie, but I very much enjoyed this. It answered a bunch of Prometheus questions, and honestly, this is what should have started. Not Prometheus, this should have started. This movie has a huge connection with Prometheus. When you see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The flute scene, that's what I'm telling you. Either way, I had so much fun with this movie. I'm glad I'm not disappointed. There are things I'm not, like, a big fan of, but I can still watch this movie and have fun, and I'm going to give it a very solid B. I think it's a good movie. I think it's definitely enjoyable. It's definitely my third favorite Alien movie. Alien and Aliens, and then Alien Covenant. And you know what? I had fun with the movie. So hey guys, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye!